we go with another late one. Another late outer extremity day, which I'll repeat probably only 1 or 200 more times. But this is in replacement of my back days. I want my lats to chill. Well, actually, not exactly my lats per se, but in the overarching balancing act of this build specifically, the back is up there. The back is leading the pack, paired with shoulders. So I want legs, chest, and arms to fucking catch up. I want legs, chest, and arms to really get into the fucking battlefield of contenders for the top dog. Forearms as well. Forearms and calves as well. Frankly, they don't get enough love. And really, I mean, calves, you can just wear a pair of pants. If you put on a pair of fucking pants, your calves are completely hidden. Out of sight, out of mind. You don't even have to fucking worry about it. That could be the end of it. So I can understand the logic for some where that's their, that's their method of calf training. More like calf concealing. Same thing with legs, whatever. But I'd say the fucking muscle group that gets shown the most, I mean, fucking regardless of temperature, climate, your altitude or your distance from the fucking ocean, your forearms are pretty much always out and about. Unless you're a die-hard like fucking 2000s kind of screamo sort of guy, always doing like the black and white sleeve shirt with the regular t-shirt on top, then odds are your forearms are going to be out for the fucking world to see. So when I was a little bit younger and less versed as a lifter, not to dogging myself there, but in my first couple of years, I was doing forearms really fucking consistently. With every arm day, I had forearms. I was very kind of adamant, and I mean, not like I was trying to tell anybody else to do it the same way I was, but I would always do it the same way. Every arm day would look like triceps. Well, actually, no, that was kind of later on. Well, every arm day had triceps, biceps, and forearms, including reversed wrist curls. That was the makeup of my arm days. In my mind, I was like, oh, all right, well, if I'm gonna hit my arms, I want to hit my entire arm, not just my fucking upper arm. I was also doing tib raises, the front of your shin, that sort of thing. You can kind of, if you lean up against a wall, put your feet out maybe a foot in front of you, and then just raise your toes off the ground, like at least 10, 15 reps or so, you're going to realize, holy crap, the front of my shins are getting worked. And I think that may be worth throwing in again. I hear a lot of like knee health kind of physician sort of guys, or what's the word there? Not personal trainer. Like physical therapy kind of guys. Like they're all kind of hyping up, working like strengthening your tibia for your knee health. So maybe I should throw those back in. But forearms and calves are up there, and I really get a little bit off-put with the comments where guys are like, why would I work my forearms directly when my forearms get worked on my back days? Why would I give myself an extra day? I'll just do my back day with straps or without straps, and then my forearms are going to get enough work that way. I mean, and then they name drop like Kevin Levrone never worked his forearms. Dorian Yates never worked his forearms. Like all these random characters, which, let me ask you something. Are you doing everything that these guys are doing? That is a very important question to be able to ask yourself, like, honestly, to be able to, let's just say, save yourself from mental trouble, from any kind of mental quarrels you may end up having by comparing yourself to these top dog kind of characters and everything else that goes along with it. But even when I was younger, I never really, like, I don't just have that impression for no reason. It's like, even when I was still 170 pounder, I wanted to fucking work my forearms because I want beefier fucking forearms. It's it's just fucking nice. And then I've said this before, and I usually say this every time I reference the forearm training, but I think it has legitimate benefits. Apart from the fact that you're going to get bigger forearms, which you're going to make your arm look fucking cooler. And in the scope of this kind of vector of training that I'm into, with the bodybuilding side of things, I mean, yeah, being big and strong, like being strong and moving around a lot of weight, is very cool. You know, I'm not taking it to the degree where I want to like totally maximize my strength output for every set, but being like fucking capable of curling 80s and whatever else, like that has its own benefit on its own. But just the added kind of stability that your wrist is going to have from being able to exert a lot of force this way and this way, I think it's going to make you a more versatile lifter because you're not going to have so much trouble on your pressing. So I'm sorry to yawn. But let's say you're, you know, if you're a beginner, especially. I mean, I've seen countless fucking videos of guys where they throw up like the 50s or 60s, whatever, for incline dumbbell press or shoulder press or whatever else, and I'm seeing them like they're fucking wobbling all up in here. You know, it is a pretty important factor in your chain of command for that sort of dumbbell pressing, even barbell. I mean, we've all seen the videos where somebody like they're pushing, they let the bar slip out and fucking land on them. This shit's dangerous. So having your direct connection to the weight that you're using be extra strong, it's gonna have some fucking improvements. I need to put some AAAs in it. I bought like this fancy like fully metal like neural grip dynamometer. You know, that's I think that's the name for the like the grip strength readers. It's like just your force reader. So I need damn it, I should have brought that tonight. I keep forgetting. But I'm gonna, and this is kind of just for my own sake, but I kind of want to see if I notice any strength progressions. The last time I kind of messed with it, but I had the reading wrong. I was kind of swinging it a little bit. But about a year and a half ago or so, one of my friends, oh my gosh, what's his name? Fuck. Give me like 5 more seconds, I think. One of my friends, David, from my fucking school I went to. This guy was straight out of the movie Avatar. You know, the blue guys? Oh, fucking 6 foot whatever, arm wrestler. Dude, no chance. No chance I'd ever want to fucking, what do they call it? What do they call it when they, I don't know. Well, either way, guy's fucking strong. He always had one, so he let me use his one day. Or he was like, we were all kind of checking it out. I got about 210 on both hands. 210 on both hands. So that's my baseline from, I think, 2 bulking phases ago, where I was not doing any direct forearm work. Oh yeah. Waiting for the caffeine to hit me. But about 210 pounds or so, which is a lot of those. Like if you go into your if you went to like your PT at your school or whatever else, like your doctor's office, they're only going to go up to 200. I think the average strength of an adult or an adult guy is like only like 100 something pounds. You know, so we're getting there. But I want to see that number go up, and that's just for shits and giggles for me. But you know, somebody like oh my god, I don't even know what his would be. I keep up with all sorts of lifting. I don't know if you know about Andrei Smaev, the fucking Russian. Jesus. I've seen all those clips, but I'm sure if he squeezed one of those things, or like Levon, or you know, everybody else, they're getting up in the 300s. Fuck, probably even, I don't know if 400's feasible. Maybe you got to put it in the hands of like Brian Shaw or something. But that's just kind of fun, you know. So if you're and there are, every time I see the comments, why would you go to the gym to do a forearm workout? Just forearms? What are you, crazy? You might have answered that question yourself just by asking them. Maybe I am fucking crazy. But I know that I want bigger and stronger forearms. And I also like going to the gym and working out. So this is a pretty fucking perfect situation for me, you know? So there's, I think there's a certain, like, amount of romanticizing that people do about anything, any kind of fucking endeavor, you know, even as, I don't want to say rudimentary, but even just like certain jobs, you know, like being a banker in New York, for any kind of guy who loves American Psycho, he's like, oh, that'd be crazy, bro. I'm gonna fucking get my Giorgio Armani suit on and fucking slick my hair back. Like, just all sorts of stuff gets very, like, you know, we've got all sorts of like fictional relations to it. Everything is, there's a movie about everything now, which I think is good. You know, it gets people excited about all sorts of different stuff, you know. I mean, I'm sure there's fucking Olympic characters right now who just got the gold, where the only reason that they were excited about that specific sport was because they saw it on TV when they were younger. You know, or just little things along those lines. So, like when guys first watched Pumping Iron, you know, let's say back when it was like new, like this was Pumping Iron ever in theaters? Now I'm kind of curious. But like when people first started watching Pumping Iron, they were probably not thinking, oh wow, I would love to do 3 sets of incline barbell bench and then 6 sets of incline flat and then 2 sets of cable flies followed by 1 set of machine press drop set. I would love to do like this little. Oh, I would love to track all my protein and do my cardio and like. You know, we're not getting excited about the actual details of the thing. We're getting excited about the thing itself, its overarching kind of like meaning and essence. So, you know, a guy watches Pumping Iron for the first time. He's like, damn, fuck man, I want to get big like that shit. You know. So the details come afterward, and I think it's a little bit of a drawback for some people because they like the idea of like, oh yes, I want to be jacked, I want to be fit and in shape. Yeah, that'd be sweet. Like the idea of it is hitting all the right fucking signals in their brain. They're like, yeah, I want to fucking do that. But when it comes down to the actual like detailed day by day, even just like minute by minute in case of the workout, sort of repetitive action that's actually necessary to do it, you know, it takes away from the allure for some people, I think, right? It's like you don't want to see the sausage get made. So that's where I think if you're interested in this sort of stuff, if you want to get jacked, if you want to, I mean, fuck, if you want to get good at anything, you know, let's say you want to learn fucking Spanish, you just finished watching Narcos or something, right? You gotta try to maintain that excitement through your daily Duolingo, like quizzes and prompts and shit, you know. So in case of just the lifting stuff, look, everybody wants to be jacked, man. And I know you'd be excited if you knew you were going to wake up tomorrow like Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 1. I make that reference a couple times, and there's a reason why I make that reference instead of a certain more recent film. Personally, I'm a little bit biased for the original, but you know, if you knew you're going to be jacked tomorrow and you're going to wake up fucking with an extra 30 pounds of muscle, you probably couldn't wait to go to sleep like it was Christmas fucking morning. But you know, change this time scale for 2 years, 1 year, you can make pretty crazy changes to your build in 1 year. If you're just a reasonably lean, like, you know, not crazy, and I'm not dogging anybody who is, but like if you're just kind of a skinnier dude, not a crazy amount of body fat on you, you just look at regular fucking Joe, you can get jacked in 1 year. That is a perfectly reasonable amount of time, especially kind of including your sort of beginner gains. If you got everything locked in from year one or from day one for a whole year, you're going to be unrecognizable. And I mean that with So, you know, let's say somebody told you, all right, fucking genie pops out of the shaker bottle, you're going to be absolutely jacked in 1 year, or you're gonna be muscular in 1 year. Not even like bodybuild, just like you're gonna have a crazy build in 1 year. You're probably like, holy crap, I hit the fucking jackpot. Nice. You're just biding your time. You're like, all right, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna, like, even that would be fucking perfect. Nobody would turn down that deal. Now, when you actually add the details, all right, bro, you could be jacked in 1 year. All you got to do is, and then list out fucking, right, diet, calorie tracking, make sure to get your sleep, not drinking too much, staying on track, keeping a reasonably clear head so you can actually train hard. Because if your fucking mind's wandering how the fuck are you gonna do a set of curls like as hard as you really can if you're not even focused on it? You know, fucking right, cardio. Oh, that's a really big one for people. You know, just doing it over and over again without really getting much immediate gratification in terms of your end goal. Guess what? You know how many people take that deal? We're living in that scenario right now. That's life, right? Genie fucking jacked overnight. That's a fantasy world. But getting jacked from working out, that's us right now. You can take that deal whenever you want. So that's where if you've got a little bit of if you want to have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder and say, oh, fuck, man, I'm in a room with, I mean, what do you think? How many people out of 100 actually work out and go hard consistently, not just like for 1 week stint right before summer starts or right when school starts or New Year's? Like, how many of us are actually like locking it in indefinitely out of 100? You know, let's say let's keep it simple, just 100 dudes, 18 to 25, the primary demographic of fitness, I believe. So how many out of 100 really? Like, guess, think about it. I'm trying to come up with a guess that I think is right. I think 10's too much. I think 10 is too fucking much. Maybe 5. Maybe 4. And I'm excluding anybody that just lifts in a little more casual sense. You know, not that I'm saying that they're wrong for that, but if you really want to kind of take it to a certain degree where you're actually getting as many gains as you can specifically, right? You're trying to push your fucking progress as hard as you can. That's kind of the bar that I'm imagining here. How many people out of 100 do that? I think, let's just say 5. So that's where I think the guys who actually make it happen, there's all sorts of different motivations. We know the trope, girlfriend left the guy for the jock. That's a pretty strong one. Not so prevalent now. I don't I mean, I'm not like in crazy touch. Most of my info on the youth just comes from TikTok memes and Instagram reels and shit. But I'm like, dude, do people in high school even fucking care about the jock kind of character now? I feel like we're getting a little bit of a kind of weirder time. But either way, left for the bigger dude. Maybe a little bit out of shape when you were younger. You want to fucking change shit around. You just like working out for whatever reason. Something got you into it. Sports. It's a pretty wholesome one. Or I guess smaller percentage. I see the comments. Some kind of traumatic event where your strength was the limiting factor. I mean, fuck. I don't know if this is a TikTok comment. He may have been lying, but the TikTok post is like, what motivates you to start lifting? And this guy comments, when I was 14 years old, like, my dad had a heart attack and I couldn't drag him out of the truck to the house to save him. So if that was true, yeah, fuck, that guy probably would not want to skimp out on his strength. You know, there's all sorts of fucking reasons, but I think there's a little bit of an equalizer factor where everybody that gets it done, in a way, and I'm not trying to dog on anybody, but there definitely is a sort of satisfaction in knowing you're doing something that makes you uncomfortable when those other 95 people are just sitting at home chilling, right? There is a fucking certain sense of like, yeah, fucking, I'm in this shit, man. Nobody's doing this right now. If you've ever gotten into a really good routine where you were doing cardio early in the fucking day, and I definitely get into this, like when I actually lock into my sleep schedule and alarm goes off at 6 and I'm like awake before it even goes off, already doing cardio before the sun's up, that gives you a fucking kind of just coolness factor, you know? So that's where you gotta, what I was trying to get at there is it's gonna help you to have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder and think, fuck, all right, I know the numbers. 95% of people aren't gonna do this. I will. You know, and even just that is a badass fucking thought. And I mean, that's kind of the whole point, right? You want to feel cool doing whatever you're doing. But I think that's enough chit chat there. Enough rambling. Let's cut to the first set of reverse forearm curls. And I'm talking light. You know, we're not getting into we're not getting into heavyweight here. This is a very stimulating set, not annihilating, which I'll explain in a moment. I'll just show the one of these. There's not really too much to see, but I'm going to camp out here for probably about 7. 7 has ended up being about the right answer for me the last couple forearm lifts, but pick a dumbbell, very light. If you've never done this before, do not feel bad about even just grabbing the 10. The only reason I can do like even a 20 is just because I do this a lot, but nothing crazy. This is not like I'm struggling every rep. You want it to be light enough where you don't have to use your fucking shoulder and everything else to like hold yourself into this position. Just nothing crazy. And this is it. Okay? Down and up, down and up. Maybe you can see a little better on this one. But it's like all of this whole little situation of shit, I want all that to kind of tighten up. And sometimes I kind of like pull my pinkies up and outward a little bit. That kind of helps me get some of this stuff a little bit more. If you see what I'm saying. If you don't, whatever. But that's kind of what I'm aiming for. You know, because the whole point of this part at least, is to thicken up the backside. When it comes to your forearm, you got all sorts of shit. You know, I didn't take an anatomy class, but it's pretty much got 3 parts that I'm concerned with as a hypertrophy focused kind of bodybuilder. You know, if you're an arm wrestler, you're going to be working on like your fucking, there's like a little knot right in here that you want for like, oh, you know, but what I'm concerned with, right, is down here, this whole chunk, which is responsible for both squeezing in kind of this little like fucking head bobbing kind of action. This whole backside, which is responsible for like opening up your hand and pulling your hand backwards, as well as just like looking fucking cool. I mean, look at all these fucking like lines and shit, right? That's what I'm aiming for. And then you've got this top part, which kind of ties in up here and helps you with like a forearm curl. You know, if I was going to sit here and do hammer curls, this top part is getting a lot of work. But these kind of fingerling side of things, wow. Usually I've been starting with the 25s as the first set, getting about 20. But the 20 so we get fucking 30 reps. But even just then, all of this is burning. Let's run it up 6 more times, and that should be about right. If it ends up being 5 more, then that's what it'll be. Okay. That's enough. Let's move on to some of this. Oh shit. Even just flexing my forearms, they feel so fucking swollen. It's like getting a residual bicep pump just because your triceps get so much blood in them. But let's grab some heavier weight. So unlike at a certain purple and yellow gym that we're all aware of, this gym's dumbbells go up to 130. So I'm no longer limited by the weight capacity of what's around me. But I'm not there yet. Not that that's the point, but a weight that I can do for a manageable set of like 15, maybe ish 20, which is kind of the rep scheme I sort of like. I mean, there's not much squeeze here. You know, if I was going extra light, I could maybe get some, but the point of this kind of forearm curl, I'm not exactly sure where I first saw somebody do it, but kind of from what I've sort of came to realize at least, is it's not really a squeezing kind of movement. You know, I'm not going to sit here and hold the top of it because I get a really good burn. It's kind of just more so going through the process of moving the weight around, using all the fucking muscle fibers I've got available, and then reaching a point of pretty much fucking failure, having to pick it up with my other hand, switch over, and then by the time I've done 3, 4, maybe even 5 of these, my forearms are going to be fucking cooked. And then I can move on to something which is a little bit more squeeze focused, you know, like just think of the nature of it. With something like this, the most amount of tension is on the bottom side. I may as well be doing a preacher curl here, you know? Like, it almost gets easier the more I do it. And then I'm getting a deep stretch with the most tension at the bottom, but then pulling back up again. And unless you've got like a cable, you're not really squeezing the top of a preacher if you pull it all the way to the top. This is kind of the resting period, you know? So that's kind of how I feel with this, right? I'm going to do 3, 4, 5, whatever, how many I kind of feel like, where I just totally obliterate my forearms, in a good way, of course, and then move on to something a little more squeezing. This may as well be like this is like the heavy press, and then next is going to be like the, either the converging chest press or like a, pec deck. So the cable stuff and maybe some barbell, underneath the legs kind of things, that's where the squeeze is at. This is more so just overall workload. But 80 pounds is about right. Any more is probably unnecessary, and any less is less than I can do for a good set. I think that's the sweet spot for your heavier shit. Let's do this. No. A few more. One more. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's change it up. Oh. Here we go. So, I like this, not only because I kind of have to do it sitting now. When you get big enough, I think it's either my lats or like my glutes, whatever. I can't really like hold the bar back here. It's like running into myself. I used to do it standing behind the back when I was a little bit, I guess slimmer is the only right word. But sitting at the end of the bench, which I have no guilt about. There's nobody in here doing chest, so I can take this. But in a pop a squat, reach down, and then just, minimal swinging. I might add a little oomph at the end, but for the most part, just straight forearm, relax. And what I like about this, in contrast to that dumbbell set, is this is a completely different strength curve. Those dumbbell forearm curls, heaviest at the bottom, lighter at the top, right? Because technically the weight is closer to my wrist at the top of it, which means more force is like being translated downward instead of like as a torque, if you follow me. But with something like this, since now instead of having my arms be horizontal, they're now vertical, the weight is actually easiest to move at the bottom and hardest at the top. So I'm gonna be squeezing as hard as I can at the top, and then back down. So, as you'll notice, when I had failure on those sets, the rep stopped. I couldn't do another one. But with something like this, I do like it, not only because it's different, but it also lets you go a little bit beyond like conventional failure. Is I can do 10 reps and like, okay, I can no longer get all the way up. I can only get to here. I can still keep fucking contracting as hard as I can, only get to here, and then say, okay, I'm not really doing any good reps. That's about enough where I can say, okay, I've wrecked my forearms. Let's give them some minutes to recover, then come back. So that's why I like something like this. But let's sit down, get hyped up, and pump out a few. Whoops. Skip forward a little. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. Two more. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Oh yeah. Woof. That actually might be it. Let's put this shit back and decide if I need one more set or not. Yeah, one more. But this one's not going to be so crazy. I mean, those sets so far were very, well, heavy. But with this one, a bit lighter, not such a crazy emphasis on like the squeeze like on some of those barbell curls. This is going to be primarily pump work. I want to get my forearms as pumped as can be. Go check them out, flex in the mirror a second, you know, if I can look cool, and then do some calves. So let's do a little alternating style, five until completion. Two more. Okay. Yeesh. Let's find some lighting. There we go. All right. Forearms complete. Reasonably downlit area of the gym combined with a nice clean mirror. This is perfect for a fucking forearm post out. So let's roll the sleeves up, see if there's any residual arm action. And then get ready to transition for the forearms of the legs, aka the little some fucking calves. So yeah, it's about right fucking there. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Some that just a touch. See how the tricep kind of tie-in is looking. All right, I think we're getting somewhere. Actually, let's do a little let's adjust some angles here and make that a little bit of a better shot. Oh yeah, here we go. Now we're looking at something. Oh. Not as infamous as the legendary shot, but we're getting somewhere. We are most certainly getting somewhere. So now the forearms are done. All I have to do is go camp out on the calf raise. So I'll probably just show one of those because I'm really just gonna sit there for as many reps as necessary. But that'll be next. Fighting the hiccups right now. But I'm gonna start off a little bit heavier. Look, I like a light, slow set of calves. I like sitting here, one plate, one leg, hold it down slow, hold it down slow. Same shit on the leg extensions, or on the, doing them on like the leg press or like a standing machine. But I know that doing a kind of heavy set, even a little bit bouncy, always pumps up my fucking calves. So I like an even mix, you know. You're not gonna catch me doing one style forever. It's always gonna be a hodgepodge of what I know is gonna give me the right feeling. There we go. Let's throw in a 15-pounder just for good measure here. One more. Oh my gosh. That barely went up on the fucking safeties. Okay. So, I'm sure you may be thinking, especially any of you form slash tempo slash range of motion fanatics, would say, Sam, what the fuck were those reps? You fucking bouncing every single one? You're right. You're definitely right. Look, I'm not going to say it's absolutely conventional. Right? I'm sitting here with like fucking a little more than 100 pounds on each leg, plus the fact that it's like twice as far as my knees are, so it probably feels like 200 pounds on each leg. Fucking bouncing reps away. But guess what? If you could feel how fatigued and pumped my calves were, I think you'd have a different fucking thought process, man. You know, that's like trying to say you can only enjoy a delicious meal in one way. It's like, no. You can't eat the potatoes first. You have to eat the steak first. Oh, no, no, you have to hold the water with this. You're getting around the point. If the method is your whole goal, then you don't really give a shit about the end result, you know? So as long as somebody's making gains, now I'm turning this into a whole speech, but as long as somebody's making progress and they're actually legitimately different today than they were yesterday, next week than they were this week, right? Clearly what they're doing is working. Now, that's not to say they're doing everything as perfectly as they could, but they're still valid in whatever that practice may be. So, you know, don't necessarily dog on anybody without knowing the whole story. Now, if someone's lifting in a weird way and they're not making gains, they probably need to be dogged on a little bit just to kind of wake them up, you know. But we'll save that for another day. You know, we're not here to. There's no hazing on this channel. Same angle, same everything. Let's do an alternator. 5 reps one side, 5 reps the other. Now these will be a bit slower controlled and kind of burn out that way. One more. Okay. Ooh. Fuck, man. I think that's enough. I'm not used to that kind of heavier calf raise. I've been doing a little bit lighter stuff. That really hit me hard. Let's see how they're looking in scram, man. Oof. All right, let's do a little below the hip action here and actually just get a one-on-one with me and the calves. So they feel pretty fucking pumped up. Honestly, to the point where I'm not surprised that they're not going to be so cut up and veiny, because some muscles actually kind of get a extra cool appearance when they're fully pumped. You know, things like chest, things like back is pretty fucking sick too. But things like calves, I mean, some of the detail just kind of fades away a little bit, you know, because it's there's a lot of intricate stuff in here. Like these, there's a couple of lines all over the place, but when they're full of blood, it's not the craziest thing in the fucking world. But they feel fucking pumped up to the point where I go to like kind of nail down like this. I almost feel like I don't have any pressure in my knees because my whole body, like my legs themselves, are smushed up against my calves. So I really do think, at least if you're a real ass to grass squatter, having a calf pump while you're squatting could potentially almost act like knee sleeves in a way in the bottom, just in the sense of giving you a little bit of extra boost. So if that's something you're into, I mean, who knows? Just something to think about. But back to the car we go. All done. All right. Maybe I'm just subject to propaganda, but given the historical events in the last couple of years, all this monkeypox fucking talk on it's getting me a little worried. It's getting me a little worried. I would prefer that did not happen. So anybody with a home gym is fucking anybody with a home gym is sitting high and dry right now. And oh shit, I'm sure there's a pretty large fucking percentage of guys who, when COVID smacked them and all their gyms closed, they set themselves up with a pretty decent home gym. So, do I think you need a $30,000 Rogue power rack with a couple hammer strength machines as well as dumbbells up to 150? Gonna go ahead and say no to that one. Gonna go ahead and say probably not. But I think you should have a couple things at the house, man. I mean, you never know. If for whatever reason I had to just be limited to, well, I guess as little equipment as fucking, possible for like a at-home arm day, dude, I could get a fucking solid arm workout with 2 pairs of dumbbells, probably 50s, and you give me a 50s, you give me 2 50s and 2 25s, I can have a pretty solid arm day for sure. Now, it would not be like ideal in perpetuity, but don't underestimate the power of just some dumbbells. You can do all sorts of shit. I mean, every sort of different dumbbell curl under the sun, double arm, 1 arm at a time, slow, bend over concentrating. So you can like point your arms way out to the side and kind of do them like that. Triceps are a little more limited. You get some kickbacks overhead, kind of dumbbell skull crushers on the ground, but still, that's enough. So if you know somebody who's a little potentially on the cusp about it, or maybe you want to do some incepting and like plant the seed of working out into somebody's mind, fuck man, get your brother a pair of dumbbells as his birthday gift, or whatever else. I've said this a couple times, but I'll say it again. I mean, fuck, when I started working out, I didn't just go straight to the gym. I was watching a couple workout videos. I was looking up to some guys, all sorts of oh man, what was I watching? Dude, I was watching all sorts of shit. Who's the Asian guy, tattooed up the wazoo, baller at calisthenics, like all sorts of body weight workouts, like doing planges and fucking handstand push-ups and shit like that. I was watching a ton of him. I was watching all sorts of Callum workouts, all sorts of Athlete X kind of tutorials, a couple other characters to get like a basic sort of workout split in, and then pretty much every like old school Tom Platz, Dorian Yates, Kevin, Jay, Ronnie, pretty much all the top dog like retro kind of clips. That was sort of my what's the word there, introduction per se. But I didn't just watch those and say, all right, I'm hitting the gym, man, let's do it. Fuck, man. My dad had some dumbbells, or not some dumbbells from like 5s to 50s in the basement. So I think it was like, yeah, when I switched from middle school to high school, me and Mark shared a fucking room. We had bunk beds for a while, but it was getting to the point where that's not really going to work out. I was in a twin on top, so that doesn't really work. So I moved down to the basement, and in the basement I had yay amount of room. It used to be the office, full of trash, so I spent like a couple days clearing all that stuff out. Made myself a fucking big ass loft bed. So my high school setup was pretty cool. It got to the point where I couldn't fit in it because I fucking outgrew it, but the room was split right down the middle. One side I made the gym, dumbbells right in front of the mirror, power rack, adjustable bench, a couple bands and stuff. I jerry-rigged a cable with it took us a while to actually find like the right pulleys, because a regular pulley from fucking Home Depot, it's not going to work. It's like really rough. We eventually found some kind of fancy ones. So pretty much as much as you need for working out. I was doing home workouts for a long time, especially during fucking pandemic hours. But so that was one half of the room. The other half was the bed, which I put like 3-4 feet up, and then underneath was the desk. I had a lawn chair that was real low to the ground. That was my fucking desk. So I was always exposed to the weight room at all times, which was extra fucking lucky for me. The only problem was sometimes I'd lift really late because I'd let my sleep schedule get out of whack, and my parents were right above me, so I'd be fucking benching and I'd have to rack the weight really quiet, or else I get a text from my dad to fucking quiet down. So that's the way to do it. But yeah, I mean, fuck. So if some crazy shit like that happens again, at least we have a little bit of a better idea on how to install, or or not install, but how to take protocol there. But hopefully, it never happens. Hopefully, it never freaking happens at all. But plan now is go home and get some grub in my system. I've got oh my god, I'm running into problems. I am running into fucking problems. So I moved out to an apartment, and my cat Oliver, that lives at my parents' house, he's like outdoors. He's like a half outside cat, half inside cat. So, he was kind of like mine, but not really. He's like the family cat. So, I'm not going to take him with me. He lives there. That's his house. I'm not going to fucking dehome him. So, we got 2 shelter cats. One named Rio, one named Rocky. Rocky, the black one, he's a fiend, man. He is, it's rough, I'm talking, I've got 3 Chipotle tacos, steak, rice, cheese, queso, fucking right on my desk, right on the kitchen table. I'm getting excited. Oh shit, I need a drink. Fucking 2 steps away. Instantly like a fucking ninja. Jumps up, grabs all of them somehow. I don't know how he can do it. Runs off with them. And this guy is food defensive, like a normal fucking cat. You would never expect it, just like picking him up, petting with him, playing him around. Dude, you put a fucking piece of food in his mouth, especially when it's your food and he knows that he took it. Let's just say you're not getting back that bite. Right? There's no unclenching those teeth. So that's something I need to figure out. If you know any tips to sort of ease some food defensiveness out of a little one-year-old black cat, I would appreciate that for sure. But apart from that, same old, I'm extra spoiled now. I get to be locked in out the wazoo, fucking lift, eating, sleeping. So there is no excuse. There truly is no excuse to not fucking to not gain some serious tissue over the course of these few months. So I think that's all I gotta say, man. That's my finishing thought. I'm not gonna dog on you about your cardio, but I will repeat the benefits. I still get comments that say, why should I even do my cardio? I know it's good for endurance. It's not just your endurance, man. It is not just your fucking endurance. It's fucking, it's a full 360, all faceted kind of, pretty much a fucking performance enhancer for real. For one thing, you're going to be leaner at baseline. No matter if you're bulking, if you're cutting, if you're just staying the same weight, if you have cardio in the routine, you're just going to be leaner in general. If you got 2 dogs and one of them loves to run around and fucking play, and the other one, you just say he sleeps a lot, guess what? 90% of the time, that guy's going to be a little heavier, and that guy's going to be a little more fucking light on his feet and spry. So if you change nothing else, but added 30 minutes of cardio-ish, I'm not even saying you have to do it totally daily. I just like daily because it kind of, I just like it because I like to do it. But also, I kind of feel like it maintains momentum in a way, I think. But even if you didn't do it every day, 30 minutes at least 4 times a week, and you're actually sweating at the end of it, your heart rate is legitimately elevated during those periods. And it doesn't have to be seated bike. It can be fucking playing basketball, fucking, whatever else. I'll get some badminton sometimes with Mark a little bit. Dude, I'm drenched. Literally fucking drenched after 30 minutes. Just you get the drill. So you're going to be leaner at baseline. You're just going to be more fucking, I don't want to say agile, but just kind of like, you're literally more active. You're going to be a little more spry, a little lighter on your toes, I think, even though I already said that. Your appetite is going to improve in a good way. Not so much that you're going to start eating more food and start gaining weight, but if you burn energy during the day, you need to replace that with food intake. So if you're trying to bulk up, you'll be able to get more food intake during the day. And if you're dieting down, you can eat more food and still be in a calorie deficit. The fucking benefits are endless. There's only one drawback. That's the fact that you have to do it, which I know. See, I've got to work out like an hour and a half a day and do 30 minutes of cardio. What are you, crazy? Maybe, but I can tell you that's going to be, at least from my point of view, the best case scenario gains wise. So I'm not telling you have to do it. I'm just giving you the information. If you do, you'll enjoy it, or you'll at least reap benefits afterward. You know, so try to employ some delayed gratification. But I think that's all I got. So I'm out of here. I'll see you tomorrow for a bulbous arm day.